Pleasant day to all my third-year students in Bachelor of Science in Hospitality Management, and welcome to our HMP 3 class. My name is Dr. Jenlyn de Lima Giagonia, and I am your instructor for this course. HMP 3 Business Communication. This course covers the different types of communication used in business transaction, including oral and written forms. It also covers formal styles of communication and the use of technology in communication. It is made even more meaningful and purposive because it is a shared experience directed towards a common end, that is, to communicate in order to be understood, which is the basic purpose of communication. After this course, you are expected to design an appropriate business page to establish a core and market with customers using a suitable social media platform to one's field and industry. More particularly, you are also expected to classify the characteristics, criteria, and goals of business communication in this term. Module 1. The nature of business communication. What are to be learned in this module? 3 important lessons. Number 1. The business communication definition and goals. Number 2. The elements of communication. And third and the last, characteristics of effective business letter. This module aims 3 things. First, distinguish the basic consideration of a business letter. Second, critique a sample business letter. And the last, formulate statements of vision, mission, and objectives of a chosen hospitality industry. Business communication skills pertain to written and oral competencies and your ability to work, establish, and maintain good relationship with others in the hospitality industry. These skills are treated essential because successful or effective communication enables you to transfer your ideas and thoughts, supporting you to obtain and realize both your professional as well as personal ambitions. Consequently, enhancing your communication skills in your future workplace should create significant part of your learning interactions. In 2009, Kohler claims that companies must ask not only how can we reach our customers, but also how can our customers reach us. He further explains that today communication is an interactive dialogue between the company and its customers, that it takes place in all the stages. In other words, pre-selling, selling, consuming, and post-consuming. He also claims that technological advances had a great impact on the means of communication. People can communicate through traditional media, through newspapers, radio, and television, as well as through newer media, such as computers and internet. By decreasing communication costs, the new technologies have encouraged more companies to move from mass communication to more targeted communication and one-on-one dialogue. As aforementioned, one of the basic types of communication that is deemed important in the hospitality industry is the written communication. With this, writing an effective business letter is highly considered. A business letter is a form of a written communication from one company to another, or among particular institutions or organizations, as well as their customers, clients, or other external parties. This module trains you in developing your basic communication skills and helps you improve your intrapersonal skills as you engage to various self-directed activities and interpersonal skills as you take part to group discussions, collaboration, or communication in a hospitality industry environment. Study this picture. Draw some definitions of business communication based on what the picture depicts. Give at least 2 to 3 definitions. are the characteristics of a good business letter? Business communication, definition and goals. Communication, in general, can be defined in rather different ways. For example, according to Daniels and Spiker in 1994, we can define it as shared meaning created among two or more people through verbal and nonverbal transaction. This emphasizes the sharing of ideas and/or information. Ideally, at the end of the process, all parties involved share the same ideas and information. Communication in business, according to Sharma in 1991, is a process of linking superiors and subordinates in various departments of an organization to one another and to management. Sharma further emphasized that it is a dynamic interactive process of relating people to other people relying on feedback. Angel likewise confirmed that in the world of work as in life, the way we have learned to think is central to the way we communicate with others and ourselves. How completely we are able to communicate will, to a large extent, determines our success in business. Further, business communication, according to Janus and Company in 1970, as cited by Valencia in 2001, is a private written communication which is designed to accomplish a specific purpose. As a rule, letters are individually dictated, typewritten or encoded, and signed. They collectively emphasize that even from letters or those duplicated in large numbers are private in the sense that they are enclosed in envelopes addressed to individuals. Business communication analyzes how effective communication can be achieved in organizations that are changing to meet new social, economic, and technological demands. The art of communication is finding the most effective means of sharing ideas and information. We need to study how people choose and develop the strategies and tactics of sharing ideas and information. Implicit in this is the idea of a communicative purpose or objective, such as informing or persuading. Many problems in communication arise from unclear or inappropriate purposes or strategies. We also need to consider how these purposes are expressed. For example, business objectives may be set out in the organization's mission statement. But is a mission statement the best way of expressing objectives in a way that the employees will accept and understand? Some organizations explicitly reject mission statements. One British vice-chancellor has suggested that although universities should be run in a business-like way, there are some 30 business techniques that we should tear up into shreds. Mission statements, for instance, are an objective waste of time. We were just as effective before we had one, says Times Higher in July 24, 1998. Here is a sample vision, mission, statement, and objective taken from the Fort George Hotel and Marina in Belize City, Central America, USA. Think of how would these statements of vision, mission, and objectives help in achieving successful communication in this particular hotel industry. The principal elements of the communication process are the following. The sender. It is the originator or the source of the message or information. He encodes the message to an intended listener or reader, or also known as receiver. The receiver refers to the intended recipient of the message communicated or sent by the sender. He decodes or interprets the message received. The message. It is a transmissible combination of information. It serves as a link which connects both the sender and the receiver toward meaningful understanding. The channel. It is the medium used by the receiver to transmit the idea after being encoded into a message. The channel is the medium employed to convey a message. It is the avenue or means by which a message is transmitted or conveyed. The noise. It refers to all kinds of disturbances or distractions that present a gap in the communication process during the transmission of the message from sender to receiver. The result of noise is generally a loss or distortion of meaning of the message, which can affect the reception. There are two general types of noise, namely, channel noise. It is any disturbance which interferes with the physical transmission of the message. Semantic noise. It refers to disturbance which interferes with the receiver's interpretation of the meaning of the message sent. Semantics is the study of changes in the meaning of words. The following give rise to semantic noise, which results in misinterpretation of messages. First, words and subjects that are too difficult for the receiver to understand. Second, difference in selected denotative meaning of words between the message sender and receiver. Denotative meaning points to objects. Third, difference in connotative meaning of words between message sender and receiver. Connotative meaning is the associations implied by a word in addition to its literal meaning. Fourth, sentence patterns which are confusing to the receiver. Fifth, poor organization of the message, which confuses the receiver. And sixth, cultural differences between sender and receiver. For example, gestures or body language, movement of the eyes, physical space between communicators are interpreted differently in different cultures. Feedback. It is the reaction or response of the receiver, which is communicated to the sender. It could be in a form different from the form in which the original message was transmitted. By the way of illustration, the communication process will look like this. From the sender's idea, it turns into a message. It passes through a channel and may possibly meet noise along the way, until it reaches the receiver. The receiver then decodes the message, interprets the message, and creates his idea about the message. He thinks of a possible feedback to the message, and it passes through a channel, until it reaches back to the sender through a form of a feedback. Next element is the situation, which refers to the communication setting or the time and place as to when and where such communication took place. Now explain the communication process in your own words as illustrated in the previous slide. The characteristics of an effective business letter. What is a good business letter? A business letter is a form of written communication from one company to another, or among particular institutions or organizations, as well as their customers, clients, or other external parties. The characteristics of an effective business letter are as follows. Simple. A business letter should be simple. It should be written in the lucid or easy language so that it is clear to the receiver. The language can be similar to that of social letters as long as formality is maintained. The letter should make an instant appeal to the reader. Conversational. An effective letter is one that gives an impression of face-to-face communication. Letters are the written media by which sender of the message speaks to the receiver. Hence, a letter should be written in a conversational style. Conversational style is interactive in nature and is more or less informal. Clear goal. The writer should be clear about what he wishes to convey. He should keep all the facts and figures of the information handy. The letter should be written in such a way that it reflects the goal clearly and easily. There must not be any ambiguity. New attitude. The business letters should be written keeping in mind the reader's point of view. It should be able to convey the sender's interest in the reader. For this, the you attitude should be adapted. The I's and we's should be avoided and more of you's should be included. This will show the sender's interest in the reader. It must be courteous. The business letter should be courteous. Courtesy implies that the letter seeks favor politely and expresses gratitude profusely for the favors done. Thus, the language of the letter should be polite and appealing. When the you attitude is adopted, automatically the letter becomes polite and appealing. Persuading. The basic idea behind every business correspondence is to persuade the reader, be it a sales letter, a letter of inquiry, or a letter of complaint. Thus, to persuade the reader in an effective way, the piece of correspondence should be well written, so as to persuade the reader in one's favor. Sincere. The business letter should be sincere. This means that the letter should be written in such a way that the readers believe what the letter says. It should not hide reality. It should also be free from hypocrisy, making tall claims. The matter should be stated directly and genuinely. Positive language. The words of the letter should be chosen with care. As far as possible, the language of the piece of letter should be positive. The use of negative words should be avoided, as it gives an impression of negative outlook and approach. Due emphasis. Proper emphasis should be put on the content of the piece of correspondence. This requires logical thinking on the part of the writer. The writer should himself be clear in his mind what he wants to convey. Only then he can emphasize properly. Proper emphasis is to be given according to the message conveyed. Proper punctuation aids to this. It should also be noted that short sentences are better than long sentences. Coherent. The information present in the letter should be arranged in a logical way. This is done by using carefully the linking devices, pronouns, and refuting the key words. Unless arranged in a logical way, the information will lose its meaning, and thus the objectivity of the correspondence will be lost. Caring for culture. All business correspondence seeks to be written keeping in mind the reader's point of view. As such, no words should be used which offends the cultural background of the reader. The best way is to avoid use of culturally derived words, slangs, colloquialisms, etc. Harmless and inoffensive words should be used. Tactful. The writer should adopt a tactful approach while writing a business letter. It can be a direct approach letter, an indirect approach letter, or a middle approach letter, depending on the message to be conveyed. Generally, good news is conveyed directly, whereas a bad news or a complaint adapts indirect or middle approach. Observes ethical standard. A business letter reflects the image of an organization. Therefore, all business correspondence should maintain certain ethical standard. Although business correspondence should be persuasive and tactful, without ethics they will be fruitless. It may pay in short run, but it will not reap harvest in the long run. Brief but complete. Brevity is the soul of correspondence. In short, the receiver must know what the sender wants to transmit. But briefness does not mean incomplete. An incomplete letter does not fulfill its objectives. All necessary matter should be incorporated in the letter. Thus, the quality of brevity and X should be incorporated in the letter. Thus, the quality of brevity and completeness should be there in business letter. What other characteristics of a good business letter that you can add? Give at least 2 additional characteristics. Explain each. Let's do the knowledge building exercise. Telling apart. Read and analyze carefully each statement or explanation found in the box. Complete the vertical bullet list below by distinguishing each of them as to what specific characteristic of an effective business letter it tells about. This time, let's test your critical thinking skills. This activity is called material critiquing. How are you gonna do it? Study the sample business letter. There are certain parts of it that need some improvements. Critique on it. Give suggestions. Write your critique and suggestions in a paragraph with no less than 100 words. Let's do create. Choose a particular hospitality industry environment. Create a name of your own. For example, Mabuhay Hotel, Mabuhay Restaurant, or Mabuhay Resort. Formulate your own statements of vision, mission, and objectives of your chosen hospitality industry environment. According to Nat Turner, good communication is the bridge between confusion and clarity. That would be all for now. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you learned most of our lessons for today.